There are thousands of cruise options out there, and sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating deciding which cruise is the best one for you. This is Cruise Control and my name's David, and today I'm going to go through my 4 golden rules that help my partner and I decide on what our next cruise holiday will be, so we're getting the best holiday for our money. Stick around. Golden rule number 1, and that is itinerary. Where do you want to go and what do you want to experience? The first thing you need to decide is whether or not you want to fly. Now, if you don't want to fly, then you're going to sail from the UK, and don't worry, there are loads of options available to you, and you don't always have to sail from Southampton if you don't want to. You can sail from regional ports with companies such as Fred Olsen and Ambassador Cruise Lines. And don't worry, just because you're sailing from the UK does not mean you have to do a cold weather cruise. If you want that suntan, you can sail to places such as the Canaries or the Mediterranean Sea. However, I must admit that if you want guaranteed hot weather, then you're probably going to have to opt for a fly cruise to somewhere like the Caribbean Sea or Southeast Asia. And if you decide to do a fly cruise, just make sure that the flight is included in your cruise price. You'll often find that cruise lines like P&O and Marella will do that. Other cruise lines, such as the American lines, may make you pay for your flight separately, so you have to be prepared to factor that into your decision-making process. Also, give some thought to the experiences you want to expose yourself to. For those who love Mother Nature, you may want to go to Alaska to do a glacier cruise. You may want to go to Norway in the winter to do a Northern Lights cruise, or if you are a budding Egyptologist, you may want to go and do a Nile cruise. So think about that when you are deciding on what cruises you want to do, and then you can quite quickly narrow down those options even further. The last thing you need to consider as part of this golden rule is whether or not you want to be active. Now, if you love getting out and about, then you might want to do a port-intensive cruise, or if you're looking for a lazy holiday, then you might want to find a cruise with more sea days, so you are forced to spend a lot of time upstairs on the top deck with a drink in your hand. I know it sounds like hard work, but someone's got to do it. Let's recap on golden rule number 1. So, are you going to fly or not? Are you looking for something that's port-intensive or not? Or are you looking for a holiday where you're going to be run off your feet, or are you looking for something that's going to offer you countless lazy days on the deck chair? Let's move on to golden rule number 2, which is price and cabin category. Hopefully by now you have whittled down your choices to a number of itineraries which you are interested in. But now you need to decide which cruise line you want to go on. Now, to differentiate them, I first look at price and cabin category. Let's talk about cabin category. The first thing you need to do is decide what type of cabin you want to sail in. Now, if you're going somewhere warm or you're going somewhere very scenic, you may want to opt for a balcony cabin. However, don't rule out outside cabins, i.e. cabins with portholes or windows, and even inside cabins. They can be a fantastic way of saving money and can be great value, especially if you're on a tight budget. Once you've chosen your cabin category and you have your basic fare, you then need to think about what are the additional optional extras you want on your cruise. Cruise lines will sell packages, so they'll sell a drinks package, a food package, a different restaurant, specialty dining restaurant packages. They will sell spa packages and internet packages. You just need to decide which of those packages are essential to your cruise. You add them to the basic fare of the cruise, and then you come up with a total which you should then divide by the number of nights you're on, and that will then allow you to compare and contrast between different cruises who offer similar packages. But you can also do that with different cruises of varying lengths. So for example, you may find that going on a 14-night cruise, though it may initially look more expensive than a 12-night cruise, but once you've added all those different packages, when you divide it on a per night basis, it may actually work out to be better value for money. Just a quick note on packages. I really enjoy front loading my costs. So by buying the packages before I cruise, so I know exactly what I'm paying and there's no nasty bill at the end of the cruise. And another thing to remember as well is sometimes when you get on the ship, you will pay more for that package than you would if you had pre-purchased it before boarding. So keep that in mind. Let's pause there and do a quick recap of golden rules number 1 and 2. You know where you want to go. You've whittled them down to experiences or to types of cruises that you're interested in. You know what cabin category you want to travel in because you know where you're going and that cabin is going to suit where you're sailing. Then you're going to work out the price per night to make sure that it falls within your price range and it's good value for money. Then you think about golden rule number 3. Golden rule number 3 is cruise line. You need to find a cruise line that matches your sensibilities. I break it up into 3 categories. The first one is family orientated. So if you're looking for something that is going to cater to the needs of your family, then you might want to look at lines such as Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Lines and MSC. However, if you're looking for something a little less activity intensive, something with a little bit, fewer kids, then you might want to try P&O, you might want to try Celebrity Cruises, or you might want to try Princess. And then there are the what we call the luxury cruise lines, which include Azamara or Seven Seas Explorer. Hurrah, you have now found your itinerary. You know what cabin category you're going to be staying in. You know how much it's going to cost you on a per night basis. You also know which cruise line you want to go with because it suits your needs. But it doesn't finish there. You've got to consider golden rule number 4, and that is the ship. And I'll explain why in just a second. Golden rule number 4 is the ship. So you've decided on the cruise line, but not all ships are created equally, and there are going to be ships within a fleet that are going to offer different amenities to keep you or your family entertained. So for example, P&O is a good example. They have 2 new ships which are absolutely huge. They have the P&O Iona and the P&O Arvia. Now they're going to be great for families. They're full of entertainment, full of activities, loads of restaurants, loads of bars. You're not going to get bored. However, they also have smaller ships with far less choice, and some of these ships are adults only. So please make sure you know the ship or you do your research on the ship before you book that cruise. Right, that finishes my 4 golden rules. I hope that you have found it informative and helpful, especially if you are looking for a new cruise right now. As always, I would really appreciate any comments that you have. They help me improve the content. I think it was a wise man once said that a YouTuber is only as good as the comments he or she receives. And also, please, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. And if you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. Until next time, I hope you all seize the day. See you soon.